Diversity is both simple and complex. In the simplest terms, diversity encompasses visible and invisible differences between people and groups. To put a finer point on it, imagine an iceberg. At the very tip of the iceberg, or above the surface of the water, you'll find identity traits such as race, age, gender, and physical appearance. We identify these characteristics as primary diversity dimensions or traits. These traits tend to be more obvious in most people, but certainly that's not true for all people. Keeping the iceberg in mind, as you near the water's surface, you find ability status, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Although these are also primary diversity traits, depending on the person, they may be more or less visible, but they all are critically important to a person's identity. Primary diversity traits may easily trigger bias, which is an assumption we make about a person based on our feelings and our associations about what we can easily see in them. For instance, if we hold negative thoughts about a primary diversity dimension, such as age, we may miss opportunities to benefit from the wisdom of older people. Bias is a mental shortcut, and it's often based on negative stereotypes. Secondary diversity traits are also important to a person's identity, but they may not be quite as visible. They include things like social class, socioeconomic status, education level, religious beliefs, and so on. As we move further beneath the surface of the water, down into the bottom of that iceberg, we find tertiary identity markers such as lived and work experience, neurodiversity, parental status, political affiliation, spoken languages, and more. So you may wonder, why is this important to know? Well, for a number of reasons, but here's a good one. We all hold bias. We wouldn't be human if we didn't. Our individual identities or dimensions of diversity contribute to our worldview and to our bias. Recognizing that it exists and that it affects us all is the first step in being able to disrupt it. So as I mentioned, diversity is both simple and complex, but for all of us, the combination of primary, secondary, and tertiary traits makes us all unique, and that is quite a wonderful aspect of diversity. Thank you.